Logan Carney, you've been playing Red Dead Redemption since Friday. All right, give us your quick. How do you feel about it?
It's difficult to just describe just how amazing of a game is so quick. It's in my opinion, it's arguably the greatest game ever made. I think it's Garrett's over there. I don't know if Garrett's played it yet, but that's a bold claim. But it is absolutely phenomenal. It is. I've been playing it since Friday, and I haven't found anything wrong with it. It is one of the first perfect games that I've come across.
So a question that I have that I just immediately thought of when I heard of a Rockstar game, does it still suffer from the Rockstar controls?
Like, what do you mean?
In GTA 5 and even the original Red Dead Redemption, it was like trying to steer, like, if you try to steer a horse or a car, it's absolutely horrendous.
So that's something that I've never really, complained about. In terms of just how it flows, though, the game's better in that area. There's a lot more. For example, the relationship with building your horse, and I hope this answers your question. It improves the controls of the horse as you go on. So, it's still easy to control. But at first, your horse is a little bit more difficult to control because you haven't built that relationship with your horse. As the game progresses, it gets easier and easier and easier. There's more things you can do. For example, in just how your relationship builds, it makes it easier. If you're just got a new horse and you're in a gun battle, the horse might get scared and it'll be a little bit of a pain to control. As you ride that horse more, as you feed it, you brush it, you have to take care of your horse. The game progresses to the point where if you get in a gun battle, the horse doesn't get scared. It's real easy to control. I hope that answers your question.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions that I have is, I've seen this around the internet that it's too granular, that it makes you do every little piece of that you would have to do, that it takes away from the fun.
See, I disagree. And this is in my review earlier today. I was worried about that because I don't know if you guys ever played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but they tried. That's a game where it's you have to have cheat codes in certain specific cheat codes, especially ones to eliminate some of the stuff like the eating, which in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was annoying. Eating and having to work out to make sure your character was fit was annoying. I still think is one of the better games that they've ever done. It's my favorite GTA game. That stuff is annoying. And I was worried when when they announced you're going to have to feed your character, you're going to have to bathe your character, you have to shave, you have to do all these things to keep your gang happy, you have to do all these things to keep your horse happy. You have to wear winter clothes in cold weather and summer clothes in warm weather. The game, it perfectly balances to the point where it's realistic and not annoying. Now, I also got the Ultimate Edition, which came with a survival pack, which comes with a lot of free meals. So it may not be as big of a pain for me as it would be for somebody that just got the Standard Edition and doesn't have free meals ready for them in the game. I think it's the perfect balance between realistic and not without being too realistic to the point where it's annoying, like San Andreas was, for example.
How difficult is it to find meals in the game?
It's not difficult at all. Camp has, well, like I said, I have the survival pack, so I have free meals. But even then, you can go, any bar has meals. You can hunt an animal. You have a campsite that's on you with your horse. You can set up the campsite and you can cook a meal right there with the fire pit. The gang's hideout has free meals there, and you can buy meals there from like rations. Not even buy, but you can get them from rations and stuff like that. It's really not difficult. Like, again, to reference back to San Andreas, where all you can go is fast food places. You couldn't carry around, food. You can carry around candy bars in some meals, but nobody's going to do that. GTA or Red Dead 2, it's not annoying. I understand for some people it may be. I heard that there are cheat codes in the game, so maybe you can avoid that. I personally haven't seeked them out because I don't think that they're needed for this game. But it's not annoying as I expected it to be.
A big selling point of this game, and it was in all of the trailers, was Arthur Morgan, the main character's relationship with the gang and how he interacts with the gang and how the gang is really dependent on him. How can you talk about that? Are they really that integral to the story and like how you play?
The gang is the story. The gang is the story. A lot of characters from the original, since it is a prequel, return. Dutch returns, Javier returns, and Bill Williamson all return. and they're important to the story. John Marston, the main character from the first game, is in the second game, and
Correction,
there's
this is the third game.
Third game, but it's the second Red Dead Redemption. Is the third Red Dead, but the second Red Dead Redemption. There's some friction between John Marston and Arthur Morgan that I don't want to spoil or anything like that. It's a bit upsetting because I love John Marston from from Red Dead Redemption, but there is some friction there, and it does add to the story. The voice acting by all the characters, especially Dutch and Arthur Morgan, in the motion capture work that was done for them is phenomenal. It feels like a movie. Whenever they get to their cutscenes, it flows tremendously. Like, for example, similar to how GTA in the earlier games, when you would start a mission, you would get the little cutscene before the cutscene of it switching to nighttime. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. So switching to nighttime. This game, you walk in and it just slowly transitions to cinematic modes, and you're there. Whatever, it doesn't change time. Whatever time it was is what the mission starts at. Whatever outfits you were wearing is what the mission starts at. What your beard was, if you're fat, same thing. How the other character looks, all that stuff is in the cutscene. So they built all that into the cutscenes. In the gang, the relationships for that is extremely important. For example, I just did a mission where I rescued a member. I don't want to go. Obviously, I don't want to give too many spoilers away. But when I got back to camp later in that night, the gang was having a party, and everybody's like, the gang members always talk to you during it. They'll come up to you like, "Hey, Arthur, we're having a party to rescue, so because you just brought back so and so and stuff like that." The relationships there in terms of the party and everything like that, it adds to the game. There's a mission where you get drunk with a gang member in a bar, and there's a lot of cutscenes where it's just a montage of them doing drunk acts, and that's pretty much the whole mission. It's you walking around drunk, and then half of it is cutscenes of you getting drunk with your buddy and doing dumb stuff. But the game, because of that relationship with the gang, it's absolutely, it's so much fun to watch. So it is extremely important, and it adds to the game a lot.
So they also talked about that if you ignore the gang, that they start to not like you, that they'll starve, things like that. Is that what happens? Have you ignored the gang that much?
I haven't ignored the game that much. You can donate money and stuff like that to the gang and help improve their hideout, and that's what I've been. I've heard that too. Again, I personally haven't ignored the gang, so my relationship with the gang is pretty good. Whenever you go to the hideout, you can. One thing that's cool is you can talk to every single non-playable character in the game, every single one, and they all have a bunch of different dialogues, so it feels like you're getting a new conversation every time, and that's true with how the gang is. So if you just go to the gang and you just talk to them right before you leave off for a mission or whatever, or you do some of the side quests that they have and stuff like that, then your relationship will be fine. You can donate food, you can donate items, you can donate all that stuff, you can improve the camp and everything. And as far as, the relationship that my character has, now again, this may be different for somebody else because I, again, haven't experienced this. But as far as the relationship with my character, I haven't ignored them enough to say that claim's true, but I can definitely see that with how much my relationship is with the gang, I can see that being the case.